Well, hey guys, welcome to our first lesson here in advanced video production. We'll go ahead and get started here. And hey, you like my little graphic like that? Just so you know, I haven't edited anything. I was just cutting that live. But we'll talk about some television stuff this year. But listen, in our first lesson here, we're going to talk about shooting quality video. This video is going to be a little bit longer. But here's what I need you to do. There is attached to this assignment a note page. Now, I initially told you in the introduction to this class that when you're taking notes to a video, you have two choices. Okay? You either take notes to the video or write a summary at the end. Okay? This particular lesson, you need to take notes. Okay, you need to take notes on the video. I'm going to help you kind of tell you what's important. I'm going to have somewhat of an outline, but it's really, really important. So besides welcoming you to the advanced video class, there's a few things you need to know moving forward. Okay, number one, a B plus or an A is a failing grade in here. Well, not technically, but if you are going to master video production, the only grade you can get in this class is an A+. And here's why. Because we're going to be working with real clients. We are going to be working with video production that has to be right. And there's only one way to send it out, is right. Now, it's true. You've heard me say that nothing is ever done. You just run out of time. But that's in the context of it being at a professional level. Okay? So you've went from digital filmmaking and all of a sudden, pow, you are in a professional production studio right now, okay? So excellence is the standard. Now, I didn't say perfection, okay? Perfectionists drive, and everything has to be. Excellence is doing your best, and then when that best was not good enough, seeking help, talking with others, and collectively working on a project to make it excellent, okay? But things can only go out of here right. So today, we're talking about, this, shooting high quality video. So, I'll be drawing a little bit maybe on the board, but listen, professional video, there's no silver bullet. You know, I can't give you the perfect outline, but here's some things that you have to consider, okay? All right. First of all, it takes practice. You have to be doing this all the time. New videographers, and anything I talk about here too translates to photography as well. So if you're into still image photography, really pay attention here. All right. But you find as you go into this, you know, your progress is kind of slow. But there's some real simple things that you can do to take just garden variety video, all right, and making it professional, all right? So here we go. The first thing, and I don't have graphics for this, but write this down, is your subject, okay? Do you have an interesting subject for your video? Is the topic relevant for the video that you're doing, okay? Well, I just really like doing this and that. Okay, you like doing it. Do other people like doing it? Do other people want to hear what you have to say? Do other people want to hear somebody you're interviewing what they have to say, okay? Is it an interesting subject? Always ask yourself, why am I shooting this, okay? Write that down in your notes. Ask, okay? Number one, interesting subject. Ask, why am I shooting this, all right? This is really normally the simplest part, okay? One of the things that we don't necessarily do in advanced video production is what I call guerrilla video. Leaving the room without a plan and just shooting. Now, there's a balance to that, and if we're shooting B-roll, okay? B-roll is we have a story, we have a documentary, and we have images we want to run on top of this. I actually told an advanced student, we were talking over right before school started, and there were some things going on with the protests and riots and stuff. I said, just take your phone, just shoot. Just go shoot. Now that's what I call guerrilla video. Just going out and shooting stuff. That's absolutely appropriate if it's B-roll. But if it's a planned out video, we don't just kind of go off on anything. What is the subject? Why am I making this video? Is this something that's really, really interesting to me? And is it going to be interesting to other people? Okay. So make sure that whatever you're shooting, okay, is interesting. And I will have my hand in that a lot. Now the second thing goes into the creation of this, okay, besides having a plan, okay? So if number one's having an interesting subject, number two is what is the mood, what is the emotion that goes with the video? This is one of the most overlooked things in video. Is this something, well, I'm doing a commercial, there's no emotion in that. Oh, there's a lot of emotion in that. If you want to make, and that was a chosen word, people to buy things. That's what a company wants to do. When they plan out a video, when they plan something, a commercial, they want you to be watching this on television and pick up your phone and order it right now. Or say, I'm going there for dinner tomorrow night. Hey, do you want to go there? Yeah, let's go to Burger King. Okay? But that's what they want. What is the emotion? What are you tugging at? How many times have you seen a commercial and you said, man, it's just a bicycle? But they've communicated how it's going to make you feel and how it's going to make your life better and how much people are going to, if you're driving this certain kind of car, people are all going to, turn their heads and look at you. Oh yeah, I want that status, so I want that car. I don't want this car, which is just like it, looks just like it, and is $20,000 cheaper. I want this car because it's going to turn heads. What's the emotion? Okay, what is the mood? Okay, and there's a lot of ways to do that. Most of mood is created after the fact in the editing process. Okay, but music is a big one. Okay, as far as creating mood in a video, and we'll talk about that detail as we get into actually post-production. Okay, but one of the easiest ways to convey mood or emotion is with what's number 3. Okay, so remember, interesting subject, conveying emotion, and number 3, lighting. Okay, what is your lighting? Right now, where I am in this room, I have worked hard to make it reasonable. I'm still not happy with this shot. Why am I not happy with this shot? Because this part of my face right here is really lit up. This part of my face has a shadow. Do you see that? Okay, so that's one of the things that you want to consider. But maybe you want to do that, okay? Maybe you want to do something where you're trying to convey something a little bit more dramatic. I just thought about how I can do this right here. It's going to be just a little distracting, but give me a second. Okay. So what I do, okay, now I've got this backlight thing, okay? So what does backlight do? Okay, backlight puts a shadow on my face. So how does this lighting change? Now I got big shadows. I got to watch the shadows, okay? But if we're going to communicate maybe something a little bit more mysterious, okay, let me get my phone out of here. Okay, you have this right here. Okay, I have to be a little bit farther away to do that. Okay, the ha 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 ha. Okay, that's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, just to show you, that was just like a really, really quick illustration that I actually did not have planned that shows you lighting. If you're doing a professional shoot, like right now, I have to make some changes in here, okay, because I don't like. Is this shadow on this side of my face a major big deal? No, not really. We have shadows in the classroom, but this is a video. So these are things that we want to take care of. Lighting in a video shoot is one of the most important things. It's what makes the video look interesting, okay? The darker the video, okay, the harder the camera has to work and the more grainy your video. You get into post-production and you say, oh, I'm just going to lighten it up in post-production. I'm just going to use my software to lighten it up. Well, Okay, you can go ahead and try to do that, but what you're going to find is you're working with very grainy, very low quality video. Okay? So, lighting. We'll go into detail on how to some of this, but it might just be if you're outside, putting somebody in the shade. Where is the sun? Photographers will tell you. My wife's a photographer, and she'll tell you. Now I'm going to get this a little bit wrong, but it's like an hour, 2 hours to 1 hour after the sun rises in the morning and before the sun sets at night. It's called the golden hour, and it's the best time when she does family photography. Just phenomenal pictures just because of the lighting that time of day. Now, you can't always worry about time of day, so you've got to go out to a shoot ahead of time. If you're going to be outdoors, look at location. Do I have shade? Am I going to be in direct sunlight? Or are people going to be doing like this if I point them there because the sun is in their eyes? Lighting is really, really important, okay? And we'll talk about camera settings, okay? Aperture settings. We'll talk about white balance settings, okay? But right now I'm just doing a general overview of the things that you want to consider, okay, when we're doing a quality video, okay? Number one, interesting subject. Number two, how are we going to convey mood or emotions, okay? Number three is lighting, okay? And the fourth major point, which I'm going to spend some time on, is composition, okay? Like right now, inside this frame, when I put together this studio, I wanted it to be as much of a classroom as possible. So what do you see behind me? Okay, you see my screen. Now I don't teach off that screen. If I was going to switch, I teach off this screen because you can see it better. Okay, but I wanted it to look professional. Now right over here to this side of me, right back here, I have a whiteboard. Okay, and I have another camera that I'm going to cut to in just a second. To show you that. But composition is probably the hardest thing to teach in a short amount of time. You heard me say in digital filmmaking that there's nothing that makes you a better photographer, a better videographer, than having to edit the footage that you shot yourself, right? So, yes, I see that screen doing that. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. Having to figure out what you shot yourself. You shoot something, you go, oh my gosh, you know, I really, really wish I had shot that differently, okay? I really recommend that you start learning composition by learning some basics. And one of the basics is what's called the rule of thirds. You heard me say this last year, okay? You saw me draw it on the board last year, and we're going there again, okay? Because this right here is basic. Now, before I head on over to the board, I just want you to notice how I am framed, okay? Because I am framed in here using the rule of thirds, okay? Now, this right here, I have marks down here where I put this chair. That camera doesn't move. So I know that I just have to make some minor adjustments when I sit down to make these videos. Okay, so let's hop over here and come over here and talk about rule of thirds. So I'm going to draw something on the board that's going to help you. Okay, and we're going to start with drawing the frame. Okay, so, all right, this is the frame, okay? Remember, everything happens inside the frame. You don't, you know, what is outside? You don't know what is over here. You don't know what is over here. All you can see is in the frame. So when you're filming, you should be looking in the frame all the time. You set up your camera, you go, okay, that's good. And then you're looking out at the subject all the time, you're going to have problems with your video. You've got to be focused on this frame all the time. Now, rule of thirds divides the screen up into thirds, both horizontal. This is close, but it's not exact. horizontally and vertically. And what you want to do is you want to line up the key parts of your screen with here. So if I'm going to do a head and shoulders shot like I was framed over there, I'm going to start with looking at where are the eyes of my subject, okay? I'm going to want the eyes of the person right here, especially if they're angled in this direction, and I'm going to show you this in just a minute, okay? All right? Right here. Okay, I can't draw people. All right, but okay. All right, right here, you've got some definite look room over here. You've got minimal headroom, okay? This is not an extreme close-up. This is kind of like what you would use for an interview shot, all right? This right here is framed the rule of thirds. If the person was facing in this direction, the opposite direction, you would frame them in this side of the screen, and the best way I can explain that is to do it like this. Okay? Here I am in the frame. Okay. This right here is not a good framed video. Yes, I'm right in the frame. Would there be a reason to frame me this way? Maybe. Okay? But you'd have to have a reason. Rule of thirds, if I'm facing, okay, if I'm facing this direction, okay, see how my body, even though I'm looking forward, my body is tilted in this direction. My eyes are close to what would be that top line, okay. Right here is very close to it. I could maybe move over a little bit more, okay. But this is what we're looking at framing from rule of thirds because, you know, I've got some look room over here and I've got minimal headroom. Now, it has to do with body angle. My look room is this way because I'm looking this way. Watch this. Okay. Is this rule of thirds? Your answer should be no. This is incorrect. Are my eyes on the line? Yeah, my eyes are on the line. Am I lined up? Yeah, my eyes are pretty close. But see how my body is angled this way? And I've got all this space back here, and it's to my back, and it's an unnatural shot. Now, if I'm framing this and I'm doing an interview, I either move the camera, okay, and frame me here, or if the person is right here, okay, I frame them this way. Rule of thirds. Composition. What is in your shot, okay? You don't want any aberration. What an aberration is something accidental in your shot. Now, this is real easy. It's a whole whiteboard. But I've got something set up here. Now, I'm all alone. I don't have another person. But I'm going to cut to another camera here. And I'm going to show you this shot of a guitar. All right? Now, let me just kind of tell you what you're looking at here. Okay? Just so you know, you kind of walked into this. We walked into this place. All right. Where we are is yeah, my teaching studio is right over there. But what this is right here is this is my workbench. It's got this soft stuff on it because most of the stuff I work on is instruments. Okay. I restring my guitars if I'm doing some electronic stuff or anything. I'm working. I'm sitting on a stool working out here. I got my little work light and everything. So although this looks like a lot of clutter, I'm doing some wiring. That's why I got some wires here. I got some tools, everything there. And the main room of the music studio is through this door in back of me, okay? So I'm going to do this shoot of this guitar. So I want to talk about background. So as I'm looking right here, just take a look. And although you can't respond to me, think about some things that are wrong, okay? I really want to emphasize the guitar. So I'm going to run over here and I'm going to do a few things. Okay? First of all, I'm looking at where it is in the room. I've got this wide angle shot that I have to do. So I've got some problems here. I have clutter. So one of the biggest things, I hope you guys can still hear me and it's not too echoey. One of the biggest problems that high school students shooting video run into is realizing that if you are doing an interview with the principal of the high school, you know more about video than they do. This is a fact, okay? So let me just look at my viewfinder here real quick. All right, so see how I got rid of those things? Now I'm gonna move the guitar over here. And you notice, okay, for this shot, I don't really want to remove this strap, but here I have a wireless remote on the back of here. That could be distracting. So I'm just going to go like this and this. Okay. And I want you to see something. I want you to notice that this takes time to do. All right? So kind of do this, and let me look at my shot again. Okay. All right. So a couple things I'm going to do. Okay. Now for this particular shot, I'm going to. I just shut off the camera. Here we go. Coming back on. All right, so for this particular shot, no, I am not going to redo this whole video just because I did that. So I'm going to get a little closer. I'm going to frame this just a little better. I'm going to come a little closer. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and lock it down right here. Got the guitar in the frame. Okay. Now, around this side of the guitar when I was clearing things, there's some clutter over here. I can see that, but you know what? You can't see that in the shot. So you don't have to move it. I'm going to move my wires. I'm going to move my tools. I'm going to go ahead and move this. I'm going to move some of this. I'm going to get rid of this these tool bags, the hammer, and boy, the things I do to teach you guys stuff. Okay, just clean that off just a little bit. Now let's look at our viewfinder. All right. Now, okay, in a perfect world, if this was a person, I'd be zoomed in more, okay? But did you notice how quickly this shot cleaned up? And did you see how long that took me to do that, okay? That happened really, really quickly. All right, so paying attention to shot backgrounds. Now, let's say I'm going to use the principal as an example. All right, because he's like the authority in the school, okay? You're a student. You don't tell the principal what to do. At the point that I send you out to interview somebody, you are going to be ready and you are going to know much more about video production than the principal does. Your job is to make that person look good. So you're the one who has to have him move things around in his office, have him clear things off of his desk. Have him, okay? Paying attention to backgrounds, okay? And then, you know, the other thing would be if you're wanting to get a really good shot of something, okay? Now I'm going to use the zoom. In the real world, I would, let's give it a second to focus here. Okay. Say I wanted to get, okay, I want to get something real clear. I want to zoom in real tight like that. So the tighter the shot I have, the better. So now you can see all my dirt on my floor. Oh well. Okay. So, and that just makes it real sharper. You know, the other thing we can talk about is using different camera angles. Okay, and we'll get into that. But again, all right, having an interesting subject, mood and emotion, thinking through how are you going to communicate that? What is your lighting? Okay, like and the shot composition. Okay, right now you're looking at this shot of me. I'm framed. See, I should be kind of angled this way a little bit. I'm framed using rule of thirds. I have a background that makes sense. I'm a video teacher. I have my little shirt on right here. I got the logo right here. I'm obviously in the classroom. If I was talking about classroom stuff and we were going to do a video and then we were going to do something like this, we're going to bring up that lower third in the middle of it and then knock it back down. You know, it looks really professional. So listen, let's start with this as an outline, okay? I want you to have this outline in your notes, and I want you to start to think about when you're shooting video. This should start to apply to every video you shoot, every picture you take. I don't care if it's for a project. I don't care if it's for your family. I don't care if it's a bunch of your friends just getting together, hanging out, messing around. Okay? If you start using these framing techniques, you're going to start doing quality video. And you know what? Like I said, advanced media, this is the standard. Okay? We're raising it, okay, to a level of excellence. Okay? So, yeah. It's gonna be tough because you're just coming out of digital film. We missed some time last year, but hey, looking over my list, I know you can all do it. Okay, guys, make some notes, hand this in on PSL, okay, and we'll see you on Zoom.